I'm Rebecca Taylor, and I'm here to talk about one of my favourite topics of life and lifestyle, which is tablescapes. And I've drawn inspiration from one of my favourite books called Table Decorations by Janet Bridge. And it is a bit dated, but some of her pieces are quite timeless, and I especially like her centerpieces. It's got this old world charm, which sort of is very special to me, and I quite like that style. And so I do read up a bit now and then from different books and I do have a bit of a collection of unique pieces, which I think would sort of help a lot of people put their tables together. So the first rule of thumb with tables is that you do not need very expensive materials. Secondly, you do not need to have a host of different materials, just a few pieces that you can put together that you can mix and match. However, I do like traditional styles, but I feel like don't confuse your guest with things that you're not serving. So I know traditionally you would have a wine glass, a water goblet, all of your flatware, all of your cutlery laid out, but that was at that time that they would actually be serving all of those meals, and so flatware and cutlery was actually put to use. But I feel like in modern day time, we don't actually do all three courses, and even if we do, it's not so elaborate. And so I feel like you shouldn't be confusing your guests by putting a soup bowl on the table if you're not actually serving soup. I do have some interesting pieces that I've collected over time, which is some interesting wood twig sort of ornaments, as well as some candle stands. These are stained glass, tiny little candle stands, and I quite like these because you can place them around the table, and it's not necessary that you actually have to match it with everything, but I feel this is quite a neutral tone, and so it does go with a lot of things that I put together. The other interesting thing about doing up your table is dinner napkins. Now I feel like your dinner napkins have to have a considerable size, simply because it serves a purpose, as well as there are different ways you can dress up your table. So this is another unique style that you can use. If you don't want to put it on a napkin ring, then what I'd like to do is just lay it out plain and simple. So look at your large dinner plate, and depending on the size of your dinner plate, I would sort of narrow down the dinner napkin, and what I do is lay it right flat underneath the smaller plate, and that way it creates a very unique sort of look, and at the same time looks very tidy. The other interesting thing that I like is flatware. Like, I have rose gold flatware that I feel goes with a lot of my interiors, and I think I can interchange it. Whether it's a simple dinner or a casual brunch, I can just mix and match pieces. I do like 4 pieces, like 4 grapes, and I only like collecting 4 pieces simply because sometimes grapes are out of season, and I do like to use them in my tablescapes, and so I do put a little box aside with things and trinkets that I quite like. This is an interesting tablescape because I've used some wooden spoons. Now, they don't actually serve a function, but they do add to the whole decor, and I feel you can build from your base up. You can use anything that you feel requires a bit of height, and it can be used as a utility piece if you're serving salads, or it can just be used as part of your decor. So don't be afraid to put your decor together by using interesting pieces of trinkets or cutlery that you feel will be paired very well together to make that sort of look that you're after, or create that sort of ambience. The other interesting thing that I like purchasing is little crystals that I keep in a little ball, and I like scattering the crystals around because it sort of ties in with my crystal wine glasses that I usually, so water goblet, wine glasses that I put beside my plates, and it sort of ties very well together. It has a bit of what's spread out along the table, and it draws right into the centerpiece. So your centerpiece, in terms of size, don't go too large, simply because you do need space on the table, and so I wouldn't want people scrambling over your centerpiece or being too afraid to tip things over. So think of balance, think of functionality, and also think of colors and themes that sort of tie in together. So thank you for staying tuned, and do continue to stay tuned for future videos. Thank you.